Welcome back to Freshwater Fishing Novice Friday. My name is Moles. I'm the Freshwater Fishing Novice, and this is the Freshwater Fishing Novice YouTube channel. If you guys want to find out what's in my tackle box, I'm going to show you everything that's in my tackle box in this video. The reason we're talking about this is because I got a comment from the Tangled Angler, and he says he binge watches my videos with his 7-year-old before they go out to the river. He said I'm pretty much his go-to channel, and he just started freshwater fishing. Appreciate the support, Tangled Angler. That name's awesome. And then he left me another comment, but it was a question. He wanted to know what was in my August/September tackle bag. He thinks he overpacks his lures and tackle. Well, first we're gonna go through everything that's in my, we'll say it's a tackle box, but it's not a tackle box. A lot of it's right here. I had to pull that off my kayak out of my vehicle. The real tackle box that I have is right here. And obviously I'm wicked strong and I'm getting winded from picking this up. This is a modified milk crate that I modified myself. If you guys want to see how to do that, I can make a video on how to modify your milk crate. Tangled Angler, I think what your question really meant, how you can minimize your tackle. Not like me. At the end of this video, I'm gonna try to give you some pointers. Let's see if we can simplify it, since you probably have to carry your son's lures too. We'll talk about that after we go through this giant crate of tackle and all this stuff. This is gonna be a lot of information, so quick fire. Hooks, different sizes. You might be saying, what are these for? Wacky rigging. Tungsten, moneymaker, shaky head hooks. Barely ever use those. Extra wide gap hook, extra wide gap hook, extra wide gap hook. You might say, what the heck are you doing with all these sizes? Different size hooks, different size lures. Superline spring lock. You see those guys? A lot of these, what do they come in? 6, quantity 6. Quantity 6, not that much. Now that's not that many hooks, right? This is a 25 pack. 3/0, 25 pack, 4/0, 25 pack, and a 5/0. The other thing I have, the size 10, there's 12 of them, barrel swivels. This might get embarrassing right here. This is a terminal tackle box that took a dip. It was closed, but water still got into it. So I didn't dry it out. And it's pretty rusty, yeah. I might be retiring a lot of this stuff. That ball of hooks right there, from my first year of fishing, they've just been sitting here. I don't even use them. I got other hooks I don't use in here. So this is more of the tackle box that I don't use. That's why it's up here. So I got my crate mounted on top of a bunch of other crates here. Open the top up. The top level of my crate is where I keep a lot of my big swim baits, glide baits, stuff like that. Oh, I'm gonna hook in this video. That's a big S-waver, the big S-waver. Wake bait up there, lipless crankbait, egg weight bait, but big swim bait, the smaller version. I can't remember who makes that. Smaller jig heads, big silly swim bait, smaller ball head jigs, zip ties just in case. That's the top level of this crazy crate I own. Camera stuff here, audio. No one cares about that. Let's start with soft plastics. Googan Squad Nuke Punch, some Kitech, not as big as that 4.8, 3.8. Right now the Tangled Angler's like, this is a lot of crap. Big size dart. Here's a normal size one. The Zoom Fluke is the KVD caffeine shad. Gary Yamamoto makes, you can see. Zoom also makes paddle tails, I got some of those. The Strike King River Bug. Power bait, just in a black, I don't know, I heard big worms work. Reaction Innovation 4.20 Sweet Beaver. So my soft plastic list is always going to be a Yum Dinger. Zoom's Trick Worm Green Pumpkin. The Pit Boss. Big curly tail worm by Culprit. 7-inch power worm. Bandito Bug of Christie Craws, made in the US, but some lizards. And then when I store it in, it's just a big hefty bag. This is all jigs. Arc Sleeper it's by Megabass. The hook keeper's hidden in that fin. The big one, that's a little one. Different color, different jigs. A bright, crazy, still on the pack. All head jig, pulled out. Gets it, that's the name. Swim jigs with the trailer on the back. Football head jig. Next box, all chatterbaits. You know, like I know. And then trailer for this. This is the cleanest box because I never use it. Bullet weights in the top, heavier ones just underneath it. jerk baits, another jerk bait, Heddon Tiny Torpedoes, which has a spinner on the back, the one right there, larger bill segmented crankbait, pointed crankbait, small poppers, suicide duck, which is a topwater wake bait, small teeny crankbait, another small crankbait that looks like a craw. I've had better luck on this. So this box, I call an unnecessary box. Last small Plano box is a crankbait box. And you might think from looking at this that I use crankbaits all the time. Nothing is further from the truth. I very rarely have success on crankbaits. Should I go through all these crankbaits like the other ones? 105, I don't know what the hell that means. Fat A. Lost an eye on that. 8 to 12 feet, obviously. Smaller square bill by the same kind. Stormarashi, another Yoziri. This is more of a wake bait. It's another Stormarashi. Lipless crankbaits. So the thickness of them, is there any sound? No. Ow, and I got hooks in me. Perfect. Segmented, deeper crankbait. The deep diver. Whoops, lost the treble on the front. This one's another cool one with like really cool coloring. It's a great color. That flash, different colors and stuff like that. One of my most expensive and least used Plano boxes is my crankbait box. Okay, that empties that out. Let's get on to these guys up here. This is a specialized box. And the reason that this is a specialized box is you can store them. There's little slots. Most size spinnerbaits will fit right in there. You just drop it in. I'm not gonna pull every one of my spinnerbaits out. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I feel like this video is already going long. This one's pretty cool. I'll show you guys this one. It's got 3 different blades on it. Specialized box for spinnerbaits. It's my frog box. All my soft body frogs. Those are all the soft body frogs I purchased over the last, let's say 6 years. Crazy big ones, some more normal looking ones. And I boiled a lot of these. Some are field mice, different brands, different colors. Some are fish. Some look like actual frogs. Some are spiders. Some are little like whopper plopper style, like scum frog, different style of scum. This is really just my frog box. Another one of my most expensive boxes. These 2 boxes are gonna be top water. This one is basically prop baits, and the majority are gonna be whopper ploppers. That size. Bass Pro Shops make a double plopper. I wanted another big one that looked more like a trout. This is by Guggen Squad. The plopper's in the middle. I got little guy, slightly larger guy, and then bigger guys. So the reason I have different size whopper ploppers, you might say, don't they do the same thing? They do, but they make a different sound. This size whopper plopper makes a different sound than this size whopper plopper, than this little guy, than this big guy. I would say this is one of my most expensive boxes, but I'm just gonna keep saying this is one of my most expensive boxes. So, next top water box. The majority of these are going to be pencil poppers, walk the dog lures, like that Yoziri. Heddon is one of my favorite companies. I haven't given up on the other companies. There's another Heddon one, a little smaller. Is this a single knocker? Yep. Got to give Guggen Squad a chance, but obviously I don't even use this. It's still got the rubber bands on it. This one's gotten hit a little bit. I can see some teeth marks on it. That's silver. Another Heddon, kind of in a fire tiger. Another Yoziri one. Their stuff is just, it looks great. Can't remember who makes that. I think this is a Sexy Dog. This is a Pompadour. This is not a walk the dog style lure. Supposedly that's the jam for top water. I don't know. Lure. This Zara puppy right here is the first one I ever had luck on last year. Obviously I got confident in it, went bananas and spent too much money buying more. Is that everything? Oh. Whew. That is everything that's in my tackle box. Now let's go back to the Tangled Anglers and about how he carries too many lures. Clearly I carry too many lures as well. Okay, let's wrap this video before it gets any longer. The Tangled Angler wanted to know how he could minimize the gear he's bringing with him since he's going with his 7-year-old son. And I'm sure many of my viewers right now are saying the same thing. What the heck? I don't want to bring all that crap with me. The kid's not lugging anything. I'm lugging it all. I got a backpack. What moles? What am I doing? Let's oversimplify this. So if I was going to go fishing with a kid, I would lean more towards like soft plastics. One thing I would have for sure would be the Yum Dinger. The colors I would have: green pumpkin, a black and blue flake, and then that June bug. So extra wide gap hook is going to be our best friend. A 2/0 wide gap hook is a pretty good, not too small, not too big. It's gonna fit most of the plastics, but it's a little more stout than the 1/0. And now that is completely weedless. That worm is gonna be a good go-to for kids and beginners. Put these in your pocket. Dad, I lost the hook. Bang, bust out another one, set them up. Second soft plastic, since the tangled angler said he goes to the river. KVD caffeine shad. So the way you use this one, same, say 2/0 wide gap hook, but that's what that looks like after it's all set up. The only other thing you're gonna wanna do before you put that hook on is you want a bullet weight. And that's just gonna sit like that. You will wanna take, do I have a toothpick? Hey! A toothpick, and you stick it into that hole, in theory, pushed up against your lure, right? And your line's in there, you just jam the sharp part of the toothpick in there and then break it off. And that will keep this pinned so this weight doesn't slide up and down the line. And the weight will pull this through the water so the tail will wag. The other thing I would suggest for a soft plastic are craws. It could be a bandito bug, it could be a rage bug. Just for example, this is the bandito bug. And I rigged it the same way. You can see the hook right there. Texpo's the same way. Everything's rigged the same way. You can put a weight on that if you want. I don't typically. The same thing with the worm. I don't typically put a weight on there. Normal Texas rigging, you'd put a weight on, but I like that weightless, especially if I'm using like a medium rod. I'll toss it out and I'll feel a tick because that medium rod's sensitive enough. You don't need weight to feel it because the fish will crank. You'll be like, what the heck is that? Soft plastics, we covered. Hooks, we covered. We covered bullet weights. Now we've significantly cut down on all the gear you're gonna bring. The other thing I would suggest that you bring, a topwater bait. The one that I would suggest would be like this or that whopper plopper. Because all you have to do is you toss it straight out and you get it moving, and that little plopper on the plopper on the back is gonna plop, 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 plop. You don't have to do anything except for a reel. So it's very simple. You gotta be careful with the treble hooks, especially around kids and adults. The other thing I would say is bring pliers, because when you want to get something unhooked with trebles, you're going to want pliers. I want to show you this little jig hook that I have. It's a tube jig, and there's our tube jig as well. Rock bass, crappie, sunfish, perch, even bass will eat these things. The way you rig this is you get this wet, you spit on it, and since it's all rusty, I'm not going to put my mouth on it. And this tube is hollow. So what you do is you go through the butt area after you spit on it. So you can see I started squeaking it in there. Now you can see that eyelet's in there. And how do you get that through? You pinch down on that plastic and that eyelet comes through. So now what you do, you tie that on. This is gonna be a light setup. It could be even ultralight. So kids' rods are good for this. You tie that on, toss it out, and the weight on this will pull it down and it will do this weird death spiral. And all these tentacles will be wagging back and forth. And fish will crush that thing. Now this is a nice, cheap intro to jig fishing. So you don't need to buy big, expensive jigs. You can just practice on smaller stuff. And this is good for kids because if you want some action, you throw a smaller lure. Now, if you want to catch something bigger, let's talk about 2 lures I threw yesterday, aside of those soft plastics that instantly stepped up the size of fish I was catching. It's a spinnerbait. Obviously, it's going to get a bigger fish because it's huge. A chatterbait. Tangled angler, if you want to throw something a little bit larger while your son's throwing something slightly smaller, you know, your son's throwing that soft paddle tail, you go ahead and start throwing that big guy, and you should be getting a little bit better luck as far as size fish than the little fella. So I got my hooks, I got some bullet weights. This should all fit in like a fanny pack, really, except for maybe some of these bigger guys. This is just the brain to my backpack for backpacking. I can use this as a shoulder sling. I can use it as a waist pack. You could fit a Plano box, all your soft plastics, hooks, and that would contain all your lures. And you don't have to carry that much stuff. You just carry your pliers in your pocket or attach it to that pack. So I wanted to thank the Tangled Angler for reaching out, leaving a comment, and then asking me for a specific video. So hopefully that the Tangled Angler, his son, all my viewers, new viewers, all found this last part more encouraging. You don't need to bring everything with you like I do in my giant milk crate. Hopefully you're encouraged not to bring everything that you told your wife you needed to buy. Tell her that it's for different times, and maybe she doesn't understand. Maybe she needs to watch the Freshwater Fishing Novice and subscribe. If you guys like this video and you want a video made about a specific question you have, like the Tangled Angler did, leave it in the comments down below. If you like this video this week and you learned something, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know that you enjoyed this video and you want to see more information helping you become a better angler. I want to thank everyone for watching my video, viewing, subscribing, liking, commenting, because it's been Freshwater Fishing Novice Friday. My name is Moles. Clearly, I'm the Freshwater Fishing Novice, and this is the Freshwater Fishing Novice YouTube channel. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll catch you next week.